AM, digital radio and the ABC Radio app. This is Drive with Adam Shirley on ABC Radio Canberra.
'Twas a beautiful day in Canberra this Saturday just gone, and we took an excited bunch of special Canberra guests on a bus tour around the city for a sneak peek at curious Canberra sights and highlights. Reporter for ABC Canberra, Hannah Walmsley, documented the whole trip. Here's a little of the sounds of what went on.
I was born in Canberra. I've lived here my whole life. I love the city, and I think that there's so much to learn about it as well. And that's what interests me about Curious Canberra, is that it's never something you've heard before. It's always different.
We're about to pull up at University House for a bit of a secret tour, an underground part of it.
You'll have to step up over a pipe here and duck under another one. So on this side, on the left beside me here, is one of the large original boilers for the 50s, and then behind you in this door as we go along, it actually is one of the original workshops for the staff, and you'll actually see, and you can just have a peer in as we go past if you like.
Hi, I'm Sam. I'm really enjoying the Curious Canberra tour. In fact, it went to my place of work and I discovered tunnels I've never known of at the university, and went into a great hall at the ANU that I've never been in 7 years studying and working there.
What about the segment Curious Canberra interests you generally?
I always loved the historic aspects of it, the looking at Canberra, which is supposedly such a planned and young city, and then finding the little things along the way, the little deviations in the plan that are still there, the bus shelters or the old lights in the north side Canberra.
I love these bus stops.
Girl in Bungendore or Braidwood is making these.
Glenn and Christine, while they're being passed around, when you see a National Library coffee mug which perfectly matches this shape and has the imagery on it, or one of these necklaces, what is your reaction to the fact that it's now becoming, well, a part of Canberra accessorising, let's say?
I'm thrilled. I think it's really cool that it's actually become a symbol of Canberra, and that everyone, like as all the street trees have settled in around them, they're actually, people have ownership of it, and that's exactly what architecture should be, if you ask me. And that's my idea of Canberra, is like brand new, interesting, groundbreaking environment for us all to live in and enjoy. And how cool is it that it's become an icon,
The first time I saw one was on Wakefield Parkway in Sydney, and I was driving along. There was a Clem's bus shelter. I thought, oh.
And there's a lovely printmaker from Newcastle called Trevor Dixon, who had a residency at Megalo here, and he made some great, he really noticed them, and made some great screen prints and things like that of it. It took an outsider to actually really see how different and what characters each one in their streetscapes have.
Howdy, I'm Nick. Really enjoying the Curious Canberra tour so far. I'm a passionate Canberran, so have always loved this city. I've lived in various places around the world, and my heart's always called me back here, so it's great.
Tell me why you're passionate about Canberra, even though you've seen and been in a lot of other cities.
What's not to be passionate about in terms of Canberra? Like, it's a beautiful city. The fact that it's planned, I think, is, one of those really quirky parts to it. That it's a very young city, but there's so much history here, and all the very, very human stories that tie it together are really what's great about this place, I think. Makes me smile, and I find out things about this city that I love that I had no idea about.
All right, just take a walk down the edge of the lake here, guys. We'll just stop at the Australian of the Year plaque with Adam's Goods on it.
The final stop, and I'd like to introduce you to Scott Kneebone. He's a Bangarang man, and we initially met on a story about the 2014 Australians of the Year plaque. Scott, you're part of a group called Ask Me Anything.
Yes. So Ask Me Anything is goes out and acknowledges one of the things, tries to address one of the problems we have about how we learn about minorities. So 6 out of 10 Australians have never actually met or got to know an Indigenous person. And the way we learn about minorities is we develop trust with someone who is from that group, and after a period of time we can actually ask them the questions that are burning, that we want to, the ones that niggle at the back of your head. It's like, what was it like for you growing up? Or how is your life different from mine? Now, if 6 out of 10 Australians can't actually do that, Ask Me Anything provides an opportunity for you to, short-circuit that trust-building relationship, which can take 18 months, and we volunteer ourselves and make ourselves vulnerable for you to ask questions. Now, when the question came in about the plaque and why it was covered, and it was the only one covered, why was that? Now, it was originally vandalised, but the job where it came about fixing the plaque, putting the cover on it, was poorly done. And so a lot of condensation formed under it, so you couldn't actually read about Adam Goodes anymore. Now, why was that actually going on over a period of time? Why wasn't it addressed or fixed up? Now, it gets into how people actually want to deal with Australians, Indigenous Australians in particular. So we get into, there's the overt racism, and then there's passive and covert racism. So this is things where racism can be subtle. It wasn't malicious intent about the condensation and Adam Goodes not being, his description not being able to read. It was just lack of care.
It's got a very interesting history, Canberra does, and it's so much more than you originally think. That we have these ideas about Canberra that everybody thinks they know the city, or they know it's about politics, it's about the Parliament House, or it's about being spread out and being in the suburbs, but it's so much more than that.
And that they did on that beautiful Saturday in Canberra just gone. Millie Corrin there, one of our special guests on the Curious Canberra tour, the inaugural one. Hopefully many more to come. We heard also from Sam Guthrie and Nicola Malik, who were also 12 of the Canberrans selected to come on our bus tour. Thank you to all of you who entered and wanted to come. We received so many great entries, but there could be just 12 in the end. You also heard from Lynn and Christine Cummings, the mum and daughter of the late Clem Cummings. He was responsible, the architect responsible for our iconic Canberra bus shelters. Matt Dowdy from the ANU and Scott Kneebone, or the presenter from organisation Ask Me Anything, were also featured in that package put together by Hannah Walmsley, our cross-media reporter. You can find a gallery of photos from the day on our ABC Canberra Facebook page. And, of course, if you are curious about something in Canberra and have always wanted to know the answer, be sure to send through a question to the Curious Canberra page on the webpage, abc.net.au/Curious Canberra, all one word. The curator of the whole program and the organiser extraordinaire of Saturday's tour is Sonia G. A big thank you to her.